the way that we're going to do this today, guys, is I do everything real time. I know that's what I love about Chris too, is that we're actively doing deals all the time. So this is not something that we're sitting at a desk and telling everybody else, hey, this is what you need to do, and we're the guru bosses, right? That's not the case. So we do deals, and I've got a property today that came through my attorney, my real estate attorney, and it's one of these things that in the times that we're in right now, every house has multiple exit strategies, right? So we can either he can wholesale this thing right now. I could pick it up from him. I've got another investor that I could put a little something on it as well and do a double wholesale to another investor, or he'll just, put some paint and carpet in it and put it back on the market. So, but we'll jump right in here. I'm going to show my screen and then get you guys over here in the corner. All right. So first thing, this is Rehab Estimator Pro. This is what we're here to demo and look at all the functions and look how you can use this in your business every day. And it can be from what I'm doing today is I'm bringing, I've got my iPad that I always bring. So I'll pull it right out, and I have also, best thing too is Apple Pen. So whatever kind of tablet you're using, let me show you as well, because this is a little hack, a little trick that nobody knows. So I'm going to wheel over real quick and grab this. I take with me now, and this differentiates me from every person that is showing up to this house today. Okay, because there are three other guys showing up. So I've got right here a small handheld, in essence, portable Canon printer, and on the back here, real small, is a battery. So I basically just hook this up to my iPad. It is Bluetooth. It operates off of the Wi-Fi from my notebook, and I don't need to plug it in. I just basically print the scope of work and an offer right there on the kitchen table. So I can guarantee you that nobody there will be using a tool like me, checking boxes and printing out a contract right there to say, which offer would you like to take right now? I don't have to go home. Okay. I don't have to go home and say, hey man, let me work the numbers. All right. So it's just not when most people are basically, scratching down things on a yellow pad, that's not what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. All right. And first thing that I'm going to do, these are all my products. Looks like I have 139 properties in here right now. I'm going to add a new property, and I have not finding it right away. So Racine, Wisconsin. And just so you know, down here, these are the multipliers that we use for different markets in the country. But as I explained before, this is not something I want you to use until you're familiar with the tool, because almost everybody across the U.S. just uses this without the multipliers in it. But you can change the multiplier for the entire sheet for all of your costs, and we don't need to unpack that right now. All right, so first of all, I'm pulling this up now. I can see right away that, okay, something's very off, and it's this one here. It did find this correctly. It's a 2-1, 832 square feet. And this one's really close, 0.29. This one is obviously part of a package. There's no way, that this thing has gone for almost $2 million. So you don't see that very often at all. So that would be interesting and looking at. So, but this is definitely, I'm going to take these two off. I usually don't mess around too much with the comps, but I know this property well enough, and these are all really close, 0.2, 0.1, 0.2, 0.29, in that 120 range. So
help these guys understand. So these comps, where are they coming from in relation to what they would be looking at? Because obviously we talk about MLS as the de facto standard, but yep. Where is this coming from?
Okay, so we just made a massive change, to our database and how we're pulling data. We're actually now paying for this data for you. So this, it used to be pulled off of Zillow, and Zillow decided to pull their API for everyone. It's gone. They're converting everything into cash offers, no more Zestimates. And they also don't want you to be able to have access and use their data. So they've been working on it so long, they're making big moves. They also bought Showing Time recently. So they're infiltrating into everything at this point. They also bought 2 more aggregate companies for data that they're also removing their APIs. So we're getting our data from a company. You can see, look at all these comps it's pulling. It's pulling really good data. It does feed from all these systems and even MLS. So this is not a direct MLS pull, but we are paying for this for you guys. So as usual, and as Chris will tell you, your due diligence is always key in this. Don't just rely on one thing. Okay. You can go in and look at what's there for a Zestimate in essence right now. We pull square footage numbers, as well as here's the average comp price, that the ones that we picked as they sold, because these are really close. They're all 2-1s. Okay. They're around that 800 to 900 square feet. And these are all really close, and the numbers are really close. Okay. So with this house, this is a solid number, and it is also data that we are purchasing for you. So in this, I know right now with my due diligence on this property. So with this, I've checked the ones that I want. I know with my due diligence, this is an easy 125 house right now in this current market. So that's what I'm going to put in here and save. Okay. Fair enough. Because this,
so you just took because you had done some other comps, you put the 125. These guys in most cases probably won't know that. So they're, from a first blush, they're going to take, the information. And I talked to all of them about, that initial offer and getting that thing under contract, right? We're going to the property, and what you're doing is you're actually writing it there, whether it's scope of work or whatever. But they may not know this 125. You and I do, because we just know the areas and we can look at it differently because of our experience. But I want to make sure that they're in a place where they can, shoot at a target and be close enough with that offer so that I can get over there and help validate it with them.
Yeah, that's great. And that's great because the ARV that it was giving me based on picking those really close comps was 118. And we've got a crazy market right now.
Okay.
With how things are happening. And so with this, I mean, I'll say it this way, Chris, because this is what I know that we all teach. Look, there's when a bank is going to write a mortgage, right? And you get an appraisal, the appraiser is not going to use, this system, is not going to use Redfin, is not going to use Zillow. The bank has to use the MLS for comps. Okay. That is the standard out there. So that's why we always talk, about, hey, even working with someone to get accurate comps in the beginning, because we all figure out ways to get access to the MLS, or, there's other tools out there that will access MLS. But this is a great start for you to research a property. And as with anything, you are doing that research. Click on a couple of those buttons. Okay. Go drop it in Zillow. Look at pictures, start looking. Hey, this property is really clean. It's an estate house. So the pictures were on Zillow already. And so if I do comparables and I go put the other addresses into Zillow and see, wait a second, these houses are far away from being updated. So I know that I can get a little bit more for this. And now my ARV is going to spike because I'm going to redo this whole house. So all these houses are selling, if we were to look and go, they're all selling for 120, right? But none of them have been updated. Then we know that we're automatically going to be, we're going to put the money into this house to rehab it, right? So we're going to be way up. We're going to be far above. We could be in the, and I'll give you this disclaimer. The attorney who gave me this lead said that it's an easy 150. He's a broker too, of course. And so he said it's an easy 155, 160 house, but he's going to go in and add another bedroom in the basement and a bathroom. Okay. Because the space is able to do that. So there's all kinds of things that we're looking at when we're evaluating this. If I can turn this into a 3-2, oh yeah. And then anything right now as a 3-2, this in Wisconsin, under 200,000 is gone there because there's nothing out there. So a 3-2 rehabbed, come on, it's under 200,000. It's off. It's multiple.
Absolutely. And one last thing, just for these guys' benefit. So this tool, obviously MLS is always at the end of the day, that's the final, check and balance. But what would be the top two outside of this, that if these guys were going to go check, that you're either using or you're teaching others, what are you finding that are the best two? Because I know you work within it a lot.
Yep. So I am definitely here, and now this is a paid product. So, but PropStream,
Yeah.
if you've looked at that, is, and there are, good deals out there with affiliate links and things like that. But PropStream is one that is actually pulling MLS data, but that's gonna cost around $100 a month. But it's another tool. Now, again, this is the other thing now that we're looking at. And Chris, are you using this now? The new, I'm going to even struggle with what the name is, as far as the app goes even, but what is the MLS now giving out, or the National Association of Realtors, like RPR or something like that?
RPR is something I've always used. RPR and MLS, those are my number 1 and 2.
Okay. So here's the thing. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm hearing this everywhere, is that RPR is getting really good, with their numbers. I don't know if it's not 100% trustworthy as well, but
no, it's not. And, but I've been using it for 3-4 years, and it's my go-to. Yep. For sure. But you can't get it unless you're a realtor.
Correct. And so again, on the lines of, here's how I started. My daughter got her license when she was 18. Okay. And so she still stays as a silent partner in my company. And then she gets paid a small percentage off of every deal. And then she just keeps her license up. And then I have MLS access all the time in my company. And so that's how I do it. I also have another business where I have a partner in, where she's a licensed agent. And so now I have access again as well. As you develop into your career, in essence, and in being an investor, you will run into these relationships where you can become an assistant to that agent. And so then you can have access and you can work together. And of course you're helping each other out, and everybody's getting a small piece in that sense. I don't want to go too far down that trail, but
no, I appreciate it.
Yep. But RPR, I'm hearing from a lot of brokers now, even like, oh yeah, I go to that first now, because it has such a perfect visual display that, and if you can get access to the app, which is easier, instead of just logging into the MLS, it's just like Zillow. You put an address in and boom, it shoots out everything for you. And it even gives you things like mortgage info, and it gives you a really, really good, the one thing that everybody's using RPR for is the reporting and like the CMA. It does a beautiful job of putting out a report that your sellers love. So, but this tool is fantastic and it will get you there. You just want to, Chris, do you agree? We should always look at this from several different angles to say, do I really understand this street, this market? The one thing about this house is that it's on a busy street. Okay. But normally I don't buy on busy streets. That's one of my criteria. But since everything is selling right now, for me to say no based on that rule it would be a tragedy for me to not look at this property.
Well, so many of the rules right now, Matt, are out the window, because that's why my realtor partner comes with me on every single property tour that I do, because at the end of the day, they have the buyers and they're like, yep, they're paying $250 in this neighborhood. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. All right.
Yep. And that is exactly it. So if we convert this house, we're easily in that 160 range.
Okay.
But we'll see. So this is for the benefit and the sake of not taking a difficult, approach to, hey, this is to show you the simplicity of the tool and how it works and how quickly that it gets done. So imagine now I'm going to be walking through this house with my iPad, with my iPen, or my, the Apple Pen or whatever you're using. And I'm just checking boxes. I'm verifying, yep, we're at 125. Here's the address, square footage. And I know that it, at this point from pictures, it doesn't need a roof, but if it does, I'm simply checking a box and there it is. Bam. There's my price. Okay. This, I'm going to do exterior painting on this one. Throws $2,080 on there. I don't need gutters, but you go through, does it need a new garage door? This one happens to, it's a That's actually vinyl siding. I'm sorry, we're going down the garage door, 2-car with opener. So that's going to throw a number in there. Every house I check light landscaping and cleanup because it throws $1,000 at it, and it does need 1 new exterior door. I'm going to go to the top here and hit interior, and every house I am painting. Now, again, I've got $2,204.80. Okay. Listen, I am not getting lost here and saying, okay, well, let's paint this bedroom and we'll do this. And we'll, this includes, look, we're going to paint the whole house. The ceilings and closets are getting blasted white, and all the trim that's existing in the house, the casing and base shoe, we're just going to caulk it and we're going to spray it. We're going to enamel it. Okay. Covers it. Done. Same thing with flooring. We're not running through the house with a tape measure. We're literally walking through this house like everybody else is doing, except we're actually coming up with numbers instantly. So I don't care right now if I'm putting ceramic tile in the bathroom and I'm going to put LVT in the kitchen, and then I'm going to do LVP in the whole, or carpet in all the bedrooms. It doesn't matter. This number covers you for all of your flooring.
And just so these guys know, again, in our repair estimate worksheet, we always start with a square footage number, right? So it's a 1,000 square foot property. The first number he had on his sheet was 832 square feet. It already knows that. So it's calculating it based on 100%, saying the whole house has to be painted. All the floors have to be done. And if not, then he changes percentages. But just understand that number didn't just come out of thin air. It's based on the square footage.
Yep. Correct. And also there's a very robust back end for you to go in. Once you get really familiar and you are very confident, let's just say this, I'm going to turn this into a rental. Okay. We're not going to go in and do all the floors. Honestly, we're going to go, okay, you know what? I need some new rugs in the, in the carpet in the bedrooms. And, we can get away with that for now. I can go in and just put, my carpet numbers in for that square footage, or I can just add 1 sink, or I can just add, but we're not doing it right now. We're walking through a house. This is a flip. We're doing it all. Okay. So I'm going to do, this is a medium kitchen that we're doing with, I'm going to put low end stainless steel package appliances in, and we're going to redo the 1 full bath. And after that, I'm not doing anything with the, my mouse keeps doing this on me. I'm not doing anything with the millwork. Okay. Or with the, let me scroll back here. Let me get one more. Okay. All right. This should work for you guys to see. All right. So a lot of times I will pick the framing and drywall repairs. I'll just hit that button again. It throws another $1,000 at it. And say you've got, like in one room, there's a ceiling, that was patched, or there was a hole in the roof before they did the roof or something like that. You can even come in here and just do this, guys. Just put 50% in. Okay. And change it if you're unsure. All right. Of that number. You just need to throw a dollar amount at it. But a lot of times that framing and drywall repair, say you have a soffit you might want to tear out in the kitchen, and you need to throw a number at that. So there even is a full gut button, but that's an entirely different teaching on that, on what we're going to do with that. So now if we go into miscellaneous and mechanicals, that is our last tab that we're going to look at before submitting this. If we have to replace a furnace, whether it's a high efficiency or just replacing the 80%er there, and good rule of thumb, as you're walking through these properties, you're going to notice right there, the 80%ers are the ones that have the gravity vent, the metal vent on the top, that B vent going into the chimney typically. The high efficiency are going to have the PVC pipes coming out of it, where they're going outside, drawing fresh air, and then also exhausting the spent air. So just a little tip, just when you're looking at these. So we don't need a furnace or AC in this, but with that, I'll come in and I'll say, you know what, we are going to inspect this, the furnace. I'm going to have my guy come in and just, write up that, hey, yeah, this thing's running great. I don't need to hit the plumbing since we're doing a kitchen and bath, but I am going to hit the electrical, that we are going to replace all of the fixtures, switches, and receptacles in the house. And that covers
the plumbing, anything in the kitchen or bathrooms, it's already taken into account.
Yeah, if you think, let's say you go downstairs in the basement, Chris, in this house, and it's wide open because, it's a smaller house. And I say, oh man, you know what? There's galvanized pipes down here. And, there's just, we want to be able to make sure we bring this thing up. We'll put PEX in it. We may not say here that we're going to replumb the whole house because that's a big ticket, but this throws $2,100 at all new fixtures, shutoffs, and repairs. And so it's a number to know, hey, and you and I talk about this. We use this a lot, Chris, where if we're coming in and we're going to hit, hey, we need to change some of the shutoffs. We need to do we need to add some PEX in the basement where we can see it. We're not going to strip the whole house and redo it as a new house. Right. But we're going to hit what's there. So, and then hot water heater, I'm going to hit. This doesn't need a new panel, but that's a $2,000 across the board number. If you can still find guys for $1,500, great. Good luck with that. That's numbers that have changed, over the last year or so. Rewire of the full house. We're always going to have at least one unit of demolition in there and at least one dumpster. But this is a pretty clean house, so I'm just going to keep it at one. And then
go to the very top. You had GC and talk to him about that.
Okay. So in this, if I have this based on units right now, but I've been messing around with percentages and also different ways to calculate. If you come in and you have a deal with your GC, whether it's percentage of overall, what the number is, or a lot of times it's best to, have a flat fee that you can work in there, or, maybe you're even working out a percentage, of the deal in the end with them. This is for you to understand that, you may be starting out and trying, GC these yourself, or, let's just say you have 5 projects going on, you don't want that job. That's another hat. It's another job that you just decided that you just gave yourself another job. And so when you get into running multiple projects, I have a way to break this down to say, hey, I may have, let's say you have 15 projects and I have 3 GCs, and they can each do 3 to 5 houses. And then under that, a project manager is where that comes in for him. Even under that GC, okay, as project manager, or you could put it over that GC. But this is just a place for you to say, hey, I need to pay somebody to manage this project for me. If you're just starting out and you have one, you may want to get to know that process and master it and understand it, and then realize I don't ever want to do this again. So at that point, you will be looking for a GC or a project manager.
But you have them in units of 5,000. So if you put a 3 there, it's 15 grand.
Yep.
Just bumping up. Okay.
So you can mess with that, or you can, you can come in and put half, just to have a number. And it's something that this is why you're talking to your GCs all the time. And once you get a project that project manager is going to take care of, there's a full list of responsibilities and duties. And that's where they're getting all of the, they're sending out all of the, say it's prints or a scope of work and saying, hey, you're asking for numbers, and you're receiving the contracts back, and you're assigning the contracts, awarding them. You're looking at materials. They're gathering material lists. They're ordering the materials. They're handling all the vendor relationships to get all of those materials there, or working through your GC to get them. They're handling the job site, the punch list, the scheduling. So, and that just takes all of those hats away from you, but that person gets paid. So when we come down to the very end and go, hey, all right, there's no mold, there's no asbestos, there's no permits needed on this job, foundation's good, but I am going to do a final cleaning, and I won't even have to stage this house. And my broker's going to take pictures this time, because it's not it's an 800 square foot house. We don't need a pro in there. So I come down, I'm automatically calculated here, $32,546.75. I'm not the guy standing in the living room going, yeah, it's going to take like 25 to 30 grand somewhere in there to fix this one up. And so, and coming up with a number that way, I have an exact down to the cents. Okay. And I'm telling you, that is a powerful way to explain to your seller, listen, I have a system, I have a tool, it calculates exactly what I'm going to need for this house. Everyone on my team, including my contractors and including my private money lender, trust my numbers, because we use a system that they use and that they trust as well. So when I bring this number to them, it's exact. Now, you can't get this house done for this much, Mr. Seller, okay? Because these are all my guys with my pricing. It's going to cost you at least 30% more to get this house ready. Now, you could certainly do the repairs yourself and the updates and try to sell it yourself, but this is what I'm going to be able to get this house done for, which is why when I go into calculating offers that I just hit the calculate offers button. We'll show you this, but we won't dive deep into the net sheet or the other calculations like a wholesale or rental calculator that we have in here as well. But let's get right down to, hey, I'm in this house today. I'll be doing a video of it as well. I can certainly send that to you, Chris. That would be a really cool follow-up.
Sure.
To this property, just to show you the walkthrough on it. I think that'd be a great way, and we'll just merge them together. So
I'd love to see that. Thank you.
You want to see that, Paul? Okay.
I'd love to see it. Thank you.
Yeah, because then you'll see through my eyes as a contractor for over 25 years what I'm seeing and what I'm checking on the boxes. So, but that ARV is showing up here. You can change any of these numbers. Say, you get a little weird about showing profit. You can put it into your other numbers here. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people you shouldn't be ashamed of that, or you shouldn't try to back away from that, because look, we're in this business to make money. They know it. We know it. So that's part of the deal. So in the end, after all this ARV, profit, closing costs, holding costs, repairs, I've got some miscellaneous in there. My cash offer is $55,426.85. Everybody else there is going to say what? They're just going to have a number they pull out of their rear end. 75,000, 40,000, 50,000. I have an exact number down to the penny. Okay. That is a powerful presentation. There also are a couple seller finance deals. And I have somebody right now that's working with me that we're going to get a deal today based on this last phone call with a seller finance deal, because we found out during this appointment that this guy is loaded. Looks like a guy that crawled out from under a bridge. He's just in a bad way. He's had a rough life, but we introduced the idea of having him just hold it and carry it, the note, and as far as us just coming in and doing repairs, and he was all over it. So if we were to just say, hey, here's 125 and the repairs, seller finance amount, I can get you more than that 55. I can get you up to 67,000, but we're only going to pay you $299 a month, over the next 15 years. Really, that's not going to be the case, because we're going to get this thing flipped. But just to show you that there are seller finance offers, and that is working today. But the big thing is, here's our cash offer right here. Everything is about the offer, Chris, right?
Yep.
So once we click PDF for seller, we're going to come and click these buttons that we want the offer details, the repair estimate. I'm not going to do the net sheet because we didn't fill that out, but I'm also going to get a contract. I'm not going to put those comps in there right now. I can email this right there. They can get it in their inbox right there. But for now, we're just going to generate this PDF because this is also what's going to allow me to print. Okay. You can put your own logo here, and then also your company info shows up here. It's very simple to do. And it's going to basically say, hey, dear Mr. Property Owner, whatever you put in the front end. It's just defaulting to the address right now because we didn't put a name. But here, I've got 3 offers for you today. Which one would you like to go with? Here's this cash offer showing up again, a couple of seller finance, and then it's going to go straight into a full scope of work that you can literally just hand over. There is a PDF when it said for contractor on there. You can produce that PDF and it'll remove all the costs if it's something that you just want to hand your scope to a couple of different contractors and have them bid on it. So the way that I like to do business right now, it's 2 different camps. You can either go get bids from a bunch of different guys with a full scope of work that's telling them this is what we need. But what I do now is that, I have my trusted team. They know my numbers. They trust this system. So I hand them the numbers and say, here you go, get it done. I'm not trying to make a profit on the general contracting side. My profit's already in the back end of the deal. If I'm trying to squeeze my contractors in every single time, it's not going to be, these numbers are for the contractors. Okay. Now, if you can do better on it, great. But as you see, as we go through, let's just pick one. All we did is click flooring, right? But here we have in the scope of work, replace 100% of the flooring. And here it is: hardwood, LVT, LVP, tile, carpet as needed, includes new flooring types for the entire house. Okay. Same thing. A middle end kitchen gets a category A granite countertop, no backsplash, and it's stock cabinetry. Okay. Stainless steel 4-appliance package, could be a mix of different brands. That also gives you a full scope on that interior bathroom as well. So go ahead, Paul. I see your hands up.
When it said replace 100% of flooring, I presume that's actually pulling in the percentage that you put in. So if it was 80% or 50%.
Yeah, well, I'll show you quick in the others, but it will. I don't know if actually, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to change this on this scope. That toggle is really just for you to manipulate your numbers. Okay.
Cool.
I'll show you where you would do what you're talking about. Okay.
Okay.
Because this
And
is
quick
just,
question, what percent are you using for seller financing? I'm just curious what interest rate you usually use.
well, that's a great question. Because here's the deal. This has never happened. I'll go back to that and show you. We do not reveal anything on that seller finance option, because it's just like you walking into a car dealership, right? That when they literally just lay out to you like, okay, how much can you afford a month? Awesome. Well, here, this is only $600 a month. And you're like, wow, well, I could make $600 a month work. And nobody's ever revealing, wait a second, what's being paid outside of closing to the car dealership for an interest rate for points? They don't ever tell you that. They don't ever tell. So with seller financing for us, it's 0. I have never, ever offered a percentage rate, and no one has ever asked, because it is completely bizarre how once you're showing that, you take that number and just divide it by the 360 months or whatever you're, putting in there. It's an exact number. Okay. It's just that they're looking at, oh, I get more money for the property and you're going to pay me monthly. Boy, that $299 a month, boy, I could go lease a new car for that. And you're going to be paying me that every month. I like that option. I have never had anyone ask me, what is the percentage rate you're paying me? So it is really cool to watch it happen. So same thing here, even cleaned entirely, including interiors of cabinets, appliance stickers removed, all windows clean. It's basically telling them it's all. So here's the other thing. This miscellaneous button, we'll just talk about real fast. This is everything that I don't want you to worry about. Okay. When you get all messed up in the head, like, oh my gosh, wait, I need to count how many HVAC grills, or how many pieces of door hardware or cabinet hardware, or what about the consumables I'm going to be using? This includes all of those things that we're not going to get lost in the weeds on. We've already picked all the big items, and we've got a number that's going to cover us on the back end, which you can easily change. So with this, here is this is a contract. If I get rid of this, my logo up here, which I do in my other system, it drops it into one page here. But this is a contract that with Chris, we're working on having your contract put in here as a WB11 with your contingencies. Are you sharing with your students all of your contingency stuff that you write in?
They get everything. Yep. We already have templates already built. Yep.
Okay. So we're putting your template in here for you then. And that's what we're working on right now, because we only do that on a customization basis. But this also works as a 1-page agreement for any state because you as an investor, you don't have to use a WB11, but it will also, you can also, if you're just sending this as an email, it'll give you this right there. So at least now you have something in with the WB11, something that you can turn around and literally print out or show them right there that this is my cash offer. What would you like to do today? So that is the guts of getting right down to, with just a simple checkbox system, walking through the house, a number that you can absolutely trust, so that you don't get really lost in your head about, oh my gosh, what if I miss something? You are getting a checklist in front of you that forces you to look at the components of the house, so that you don't walk away going, oh wait, I forgot to look at the furnace. I forgot to look at the panel. I forgot to, we want you to be there, check the boxes as you go through the house, and done. Come up with a number that you confidently trust to say, here, Mr. Seller, I've got an offer for you right now. Okay.
And this can all be done as well for those that don't have a tablet on a cell phone.
Yep.
Probably a little obviously smaller, but definitely doable.
Yep. Definitely doable. And it, I just, what was fun, Chris, the other day before I left on my trip, Friday, I went and looked at a house that had 2 other guys in there, and this wholesaler was, this came through a coaching student as well. And this wholesaler had 3 offers from REP come in, and he came back to me and said, okay, I think it's time for me to pull the trigger on this tool, because this is what I'm getting. And they were all very similar. And he had to come back and say, okay, I need to go renegotiate with the seller because obviously my number doesn't work. And and it was proof right there. Let's go into the others section really fast, because this is something, again, or as you get more experienced, or as maybe you're looking at a rental and you're getting real specific. And Chris, you're seasoned enough, and I've seen what you do. You get really, really, you can get into the detail, especially on a property that, hey, I'm going to turn this into a rental. I only need to do this, this, or this. But this is where all your numbers are built in as linear footage, square footage, per yard, when you get into each. So you can come in and put, hey, I only need a certain linear feet of just fascia or soffit, or instead of clicking the gutters and downspouts button for the whole house, maybe you only need a couple of downspouts, 20 feet of downspout. Okay. Getting into siding demo, maybe it's fiber cement siding. I just added that for a company out in Georgia because that's all they put on. They don't use vinyl anymore. So LP siding, putting in there, replacing the chimney, stone veneer. There's, if you're getting into huge, landscaping, when you're getting into big lots.
So this can be used in conjunction with the other 3 tabs. I mean, if they go through there and go, well, there's nothing in here, I definitely want to power wash. I don't need to paint it, and I don't need to do the siding, and power washing is going to be $500. So they can just skip all that on the first 3 and come to this tab and add it in if they wanted to.
Yep. And this is where you're going to be, on the front end, you don't even have a tape measure in your hand. You're walking through the house and coming up with a number. If you're really getting into the nitty gritty now and going, well, geez, the cabinets are okay, we just need countertops in here. Now, what I do in there when I'm coming up, because again, that cash, you are in there, the seller is expecting you to offer them money for their house. Okay. I'll just toggle the number down for the kitchen. So instead of that $6,000 median kitchen that's going to do everything, I might just go 50% and go $3,000 for the granite and the new sink and faucet. And okay. Instead of going through and starting to put in square footage of the exact countertops and, that part, I'm there to get a number and work that quick. Okay. Does that make sense? I know that.
Yeah, and I think what I'm hearing him say, and I want to make sure you guys hear it, don't get buried into this other area as in your first, 10 times. Toggle it down, use the 3 that are already generated for you, and use those and get familiar with and get comfortable with this sheet. Because if you start digging into this, it's like going onto Facebook. You're going to get lost.
Yep. Right. But
just to understand, so what is the purpose of this then? Is this like on a second pass, or once you go home and you're actually project planning, or is this just an option if there are people who want to get more specific?
Yep. You'll get very familiar as you go through more and more houses, and as you start doing deals, and as you start going, hey, look, hey, I already know that there's I'm going to remove a bearing wall, in the kitchen. And so I know that it's in here, and I'm going to put it in. Okay. Or if you are getting into rentals and well, man, I only need to replace the sink in a just this sink, and then maybe just the shower head or something like that. Okay. This is getting more, you'll get to know this. Okay. But just so you know, I still don't ever use it unless I'm really coming down to on the back end, like you said, Paul, where I'm going, okay, I need to know my numbers. I use this as a tool really to know my numbers in this, to be able to negotiate with contractors because these numbers work.
And again, all the stuff Matt's showing, Paul and everybody, this is only for one purpose. And so we get that offer in someone's hand and we're close, because you guys all have me, partnership contingency, to make sure that you can walk away. And even if it's wrong, you're okay.
Yep. So, and it's even you run into, I've got one, I mean, it needs, well, it's $250 each for to inspect a well. It's there for you. The numbers are there. And this is for you. If you have questions and go, oh man, there's a, you know, they came back with, there's a well, so I need to add you know, an inspection fee to that. Well, again, think about it. $250 in the scheme of 32,000 when I already have a $3,500 miscellaneous number. I don't want to get terribly lost in this to make sure that I cover every single thing. Chemical toilet on site, foundation waterproofing, and in the very bottom here too, all the way, well, way down, I have all, these are all new construction pricing for everything, building a house. So that's how deep it gets, okay? But again, we're sticking in these 3 tabs to go down to get our offer price, okay? I'll quick show you this other calcs here. And so computer's being funny there with the, so this is if you get into a rental calculation, you want to come up with basically a cash on cash return and a maximum allowable offer there by putting in taxes, insurance, vacancy rates, property management fees. That's something for you to play around with as well, for you to get, if you're going to look at that, you get into a wholesale calculator as well. Okay. And then also what your wholesale fee that you're going to put on there. And so that's also another tool that will get you to a number so that if you're going to wholesale this property. So, and we're not going to break that down, but one of the big things that I want to show you, because this is a consistent question. I'm going to show you how quick and how easy this is for you to go in and change. If you just hit your name up here and hit my parameters, and this is where everything is as far as your profile, your business, setting up your logo. You can get videos, testimonials, all this stuff, change your password. You can even add a virtual assistant to this as well here. But if I hit my parameters, and let's say I go into interior and say, man, we're at $2.65 a square foot right now for interior paint. I want to change that, or I want to change the scope of work. I don't want it to say, 2 colors maximum. I want it just to be 1 color or whatever. This is where you can real quick, you put your personal value in, you can change what shows up on your scope, and done. It's instantaneous. It will change it for all of your parameters. So say you start working with a contractor and you find your painter is, and again, it's off. Maybe, you show him the number and he disagrees and he can get it done cheaper. I do get guys a lot that say, well, my painter's cheaper than that. Well, I always err on the side of caution saying, look, every rehab goes over budget anyway. So why do I want to bring that number down? Okay. I want to keep that number where it is, but you can even come in here and add as vendors and material. Say you want to put Sherwin-Williams in here and have that free painter. It's robust that way, but don't get into that yet. Don't get lost there yet until you're using the product and you can spit out offers every day with this.
Matt, the way we have it set up, the way you guys did it for me, knowing that because the way we have it set up, guys, is I have one big user account and all you guys are added in. So everything you're doing, I can go into this same, almost like our Google Drives. So I have access to each one of you. So you put your offer, all your stuff in there. I can see it. You can see it. And this is the same thing. I've got access to see all of your projects that you have in here. So my question to you, Matt, is what you just showed, or if there's any adjustments or changing of formulas, am I doing that at a global level, or can these guys change it individually, and will that affect others?
No, they can change their own database.
Their own. Okay.
Yep.
Which I wouldn't recommend doing right now.
Correct. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but I want to show you how easy that is. Okay.
Yep, appreciate it.
And like, again, some people get lost in the fact that, oh man, I've lost a couple sellers. I don't want to show that, 20% profit on that end. We don't care what the number is, right? It's because it gets us down to an offer price, but maybe I don't want to show it. So maybe I'll take 15 and I'll put 10 here as the closing cost. Because, and the reason for that, okay, like if I were to just go back up into here and click this property again, and I get right back down to calculating my offers, let's just take right now, let's just do this we've got 125,000, right? I'm going to pull my calculator out here, times, I'm going to go 0.7, Chris, okay?
Okay.
Minus 32,546.
Yep.
I come up with 54.9. Okay, as far as a cash offer price. So as you see, you have literally gone through and got exact pricing on everything in this house. You have something to show the seller that you are a sophisticated home buyer, as a professional home buyer that's using tools and software, and you have shown them everything that needed to be done, and they have not argued with you once. Hey, Mr. Seller, boy, that garage door, man, that, looks like somebody ran into it. We need to replace that, right? Oh yeah, for sure. Click. By the time you get down to the end of this and come up with this number, your seller has told you the entire scope of work. Do you understand the power of that? You are literally, they are not disagreeing with you on any level. You have walked them through. A lot of times, it's such a powerful tool. I basically take it, I pull it out of my case like this because it's just magnetic, and I say, hey, here, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be kind of looking in some of these cabinets and stuff. Could you just take this pen and take this iPad, and as we go through the house and we agree on things that need to be updated, could you just check that box for me? That's all it is. We're just checking a box. And they get all excited. Oh yeah, that'll be great. By the time you get to the kitchen table, they've already told you the entire scope of work. They are never disagreeing with your number as far as what those repairs ended up being. Okay. So once you get down to this, you see somebody else comes up with 55,000 based on ARV times 70% minus repairs, and they came up with the same number. But guess what? I'm actually able to show them how I came up with that number. Okay. So that's how close that is. It works every time. Chris, what else, man? I know I've just thrown up all over you.
No, and again, this is a work in progress because, as you and I have been kind of pulling together here the last few months, I really want this to be, this process to be automated more. And I've used other tools, that. I've tried the stuff that Mike Jacka has, and, we've got back to the basics of the single page repair estimate worksheet, which really was part of the foundation of what you use to build what you have today. Yep. So now it's just making sure that we can plug it in and, get these folks on the same page, and automating it is, man, it's so easy. I try to do that every time I go in and have that on my phone. And I just want to make sure that, we can do it at a base level, have these guys understand and get those offers written. So
yep.
I like it. That's why you're here.
Yeah, we've done this with we went head to head on a property with, your sheet. Because like I said, like you said, it's so instead of having to go do math or carry a sheet around with you, you now have a tool that basically is your sheet, but it calculates everything for you, plus gives you an offer. I love standing there and sending them an email and saying, well, there you go, your offer's in your inbox right now. We're currently working on adding hello sign to the offer so that we can just even get a digital signature and walk away versus, printing it out right there.
Excellent. You guys have any questions? Now's your chance.
I just walked through a place 2 days ago. I've got Chris's sheet and a ton of notes on a yellow pad, and I would love to generate an offer. Is there, how can I access the tool and utilize it to try it out on this offer? How do I access it?
So right now, everyone has, except I think Fernando, just because he's newer. I think Matt, your team already has all of those set up. We just need to get them, registered.
Yep. All right, here we are at 2512 Durand Avenue in Racine, Wisconsin. So we're going to run through this house real fast. I've got REP pulled up here. We've got ARV in here already, so we're just going to run through. I've got my contractor with me as well. And so first thing we're noticing as we pull up, because we've got our list out, so we've got our checklist on REP. Vinyl siding looks great. What is that, a D4? And siding, the roof looks great, brand new, so, or new-ish, we'll say. Storm door and front door look fine. Porch is good. Landscaping is good. We do have, though, a windows for sure. Even though they did the siding, you can see the old storm windows, and you see the wood, and there was single pane glass. So we'll do a quick run around. So we're not doing the roof on here for sure. We're not even doing any painting on the exterior, but windows, we definitely have to add what we're doing. So I saw 2 on the front, 2 on the side. As we come around to the back of the garage here, again, you see seamless gutters up top, so that's good. I see new electrical service that just got put in. This is in addition to the garage. Looks, definitely just gonna have some paint. I'm not gonna replace that door, not for a garage. But you can see along the top too of the garage, they've got that rolled roofing with tar, so that'll have to be redone. I'm not gonna take off the whole roof. I'm just gonna re-tar that. So that's not that big of a deal. But other than that, garage looks good. The door looked good. So we had 2, 4, 6 windows, and whatever we have on this side, 3 more. So total of 9 windows. And really, I mean, would you replace any of these exterior doors? No. Okay. So real clean exterior. So that is fantastic, because that's really all we have. So we're going to go right into the interior. This house is super clean. That's the first thing I noticed. It's definitely a grandma house. We love grandma houses because there's not a lot of work to do. What would you do in this kitchen?
New floors, base, countertops,
Okay.
appliances.
Cabinets look good, stainless steel, right?
Yeah,
Throw 'em in.
cabinets are great.
There is no dishwasher, so it's just there's not even a microwave, so we should probably add that.
The floor looks great. It's in great shape. It's just
does.
very dated and
Yellow.
yellow.
So, and as you can see, and smell in here, a lot of smoke. So,
Yeah.
so I'm definitely coming in. We're painting the whole thing. I'm doing the flooring throughout the house. For kitchen, this is going to be interesting because we're only doing countertops for the sake of not going back into the system to calculate counters. I'm just going to come in to do we'll do a median kitchen, but we're going to actually take this number now and just reduce it by 50% because we're not replacing cabinets. So that just brings it. So that'll be best, since we're not going to tear everything out. We're just going to do the countertops. That's the fastest way to get it done in REP. So love it. This is a great house so far. Look at the doors are in good shape. Millwork's in good shape. Base, all hardwood floors throughout the rest. So we've already got that. We've already got the flooring figured in this and paint, and that's really all we're looking at right now. So this will be a great one. I'm gonna add low-end appliances because that's gonna add our $2,500 for stainless steel set. That bedroom looks great. We've already got the windows accounted for. Bathroom. We're just gonna have to add this because we're not gonna paint that vanity. We're gonna do the tub, whether we spray porcelain or we do tile walls. We're just gonna add a full bath to replace. So we'll just check the box as 1. And outside of that, that's it for interior, other than let's go downstairs and check out the mechanicals now. All right, so we're into mechanicals now. I come down the basement. Everything looks, this is a telltale sign. When you see 8x8 tiles, you definitely, in your head, first thing you're thinking is, oh, asbestos, and that's usually because of the glue that has been used. And so this has to get encapsulated. We're not going to tear it up. So I will have to put flooring down here, whether it's a cheap carpet or it's LVP, which is, you can get some cheap LVP now. So that part will be covered with flooring. So furnace looks great. If you come on this side and check out, it's a new Lennox. So we're not going to replace that. An A.L. Smith, good water heater, but it is a few years old, but it's working now. So I'm not even going to include it unless for the purposes now, knowing that it works. We're not trying to tear it out just to tear it out, even just because it's old. So we're not replacing furnace or the water heater, and we are basically going to hit. For the electrical, we are going to replace all the switches and receptacles and the ceiling fixtures upstairs. So I'm going to hit that checkbox. And now when we get to the panel, we saw the new service outside on the roof. So this was fuses, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So they just did this. So the electrical service is all updated, so we don't need a new panel there either. We are going to have, we don't even need demolition in here as a unit. So the one thing that I just see in coming down here though is that we do have to address this wall. which that gets into, you know, everything was going great until all of a sudden we see this big horizontal crack up at the top here. And so I am going to have to put in for a minimum for foundation, just because, and there is a checkbox for that, and I'm going to increase that right now to 300%, just because I know that that wall, we're gonna need about, do you agree, are we gonna need drain tile here if we're gonna put steel beam in here?
You may as well, because you're coming up concrete
And same with
on the backside.
seeing water on that back wall there too. So we are gonna have drain tile work in here and putting steel beams on this wall. And whenever you see foundation problems, you wanna make sure you're accounting for something. If you have to get your other contractor in here to verify numbers, that's fine, but at least now you know, hey, look, we got to address this a little bit further, or pad your number enough to know that you are going to need to get some numbers in here just to make sure that you cover your butt. So the rest of the rec room back here looks fantastic. So far, I see nothing as far as water stains. Got the window back there. You could convert this into a bedroom, make an egress window, but as long as we're finishing the floors down here, we could even paint this paneling. Because with the new floors, what would you do here?
It's in great shape. I'd leave it and paint it.
Okay, so same thing with the panels. What would?
Again, they're in great shape for the price point and what needs to be. Leave
Okay.
it, paint it.
Okay, and I agree. I mean, I thought maybe you would tear this down, but then again, there's no panels missing. It looks to be in great shape. You spray everything down here and put new floors.
Yeah.
I think you're in good shape. So honestly, we throw in a final cleaning on this house, I'm at $31,583. You know, we didn't, that's, again, you can't disagree with the fact that we're going to replace, you know, switches and receptacles.
Right.
And going through the interior, we got to paint the whole place, got to do flooring in the whole place, put new granite tops in, plus appliances, plus 11 windows. So, or wait, it was 9. So it adds up quick, and those are numbers that are tight.
Right.
And you're still at 30 grand. So if you think you're going to come into this house and spend 15, 20 grand because it's small, it's clean, the numbers add up real quick, and you can't dispute anything that we've done. So if I were to say, hey, without adding an egress window here, just coming in here and saying, okay, let's base this on, I mean, we based it on 155, but that was with, as an ARV, but that was with doing an egress window and such. But right now, if I kept it that way, my cash offer is $77,766.94. So we're gonna email this offer out right from REP and get it sent, and we'll take it from there.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks guys.